Hello, my name is Ann Jessica Moffitt. I present to you my case study of Everman High School. This case study will demonstrate my clear understanding and ability to successfully lead a school effectively in the following areas: foundational principles, curriculum instruction and assessment, supervision, professional development, the cultural aspect, and organizational management. Thank you for this awesome opportunity.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Little. I am a 12th grade assistant principal here at Everman High School.
My name is Tamika Dees, and I'm currently an assistant principal here at Everman High School.
Hi there, I'm Patrick Lammers, and I'm the Dean of Curriculum at Everman High School.
Hello, my name is Cherie Pace. I am currently an assistant principal at Everman High School.
Good evening. My name is Herman Norris, and currently I'm the assistant principal at Everman High School.
Hi, I'm Nita Page, and I'm currently principal at Everman High School. This is my 6th year here.
All right, I'd like to talk about culture for, a minute or so. Going back to when I first got on this campus, when we first got here, I think what the students were wanting was some structure and some stability. The senior class, I was very close to those kids because, of course, that's what I taught. But they had been through 3 different principals. And so when we got here, our current principal, Mrs. Page, got here, it seemed like the school was in an uproar. The scores, standardized tests, they were low. Kids didn't really value the importance of education. I mean, they were coming to school, but, they were just here. And so I think with our current culture, it didn't just happen overnight. It took years of planning. It took our principal having a vision and teachers actually buying into that vision and believing in what she saw for the school. It also took the kids to believe in that vision also. And like I said, that did not happen overnight. We're just getting to a point to where our teachers are actually believing what she's saying. Our teacher turnover rate is not as high because, most of our teachers here actually want to see the students be successful, and they want a successful school. And so I think with proper planning, we have PLC meetings where our teachers actually get together. We look at data. Assistant principals are always in the classrooms looking at what's going on. And like I said, that takes years of planning. That won't just happen overnight. And our culture here is like a family. The students feel like they belong here. The students have ownership in their grades and their attendance and their behavior. And so our culture is one that's very nurturing. Ms. Page is like the head mama, and all the assistant principals, we fall right in line right behind her.
Administrator over the science department fit quite naturally because I had so many years of science experience. Being a science specialist, I was very familiar with the curriculum. I was familiar with the state standards, familiar with Kilgore, who helped to design exams for the tax test. And because I was very successful in helping my students master the tax test, I then was promoted to the science specialist. And as the science specialist, I then was responsible for mentoring other teachers and coming up with activities that also helped at least 89 to 90% of our students passing the science tax test. I'm also currently the LPAC administrator because I expressed a desire to take up a second language. And not only that, because I've worked with a number of students when I was a teacher who struggled with the second language and had a lot of ideas and some activities that kind of help bridge that gap to help them learn English. And so when that position became available, I expressed my interest to my principal, who thought that it would be a great opportunity and a great experience for me here at Everman. Considering our ESL population has grown tremendously I really think that that's an area that we have to focus on because a lot of our state standards now are looking at individual subgroups and subpopulations, and our ESL students have failed tremendously, not only in this English but also other core subject areas like science, math, as well as social studies. And so that is a great need here at Everman High School, where the population is growing tremendously. As those administrators over the science department as well as over LPAC, a lot of our professional development does deal with how can we increase an interest in the science program, as well as create programs and activities that also help our ESL students. I think that it is vitally important that our staff is well trained in ESL strategies, how we basically communicate when we're doing our lessons, how we deliver the instruction, that it not only reach the average student, but it also reaches those students that may have some other difficulties such as language or even some learning barriers. And so we have attended a number of conferences that have helped us and trained us to reach out to those students to make sure that those students do not fall in the gap. And so I've been truly grateful to be a supervisor and take leadership and ownership in a number of these activities, but our staff are really the ones that actually go out there and put these things into practice.
A little bit about assessment, and in particular curriculum-based assessments. And I guess I'll try to give very quickly, because I've only been given 5 minutes to do this. So if I go over, I apologize a little bit, but it's critically important. Three things. One, I mentioned the administrative team, the leadership has to have a vision to kind of guide folks in the direction we need to go. We need to empower the staff here to encourage them to buy into the mission, and then empower them to be leaders in whatever position they are in on our campus. And then we need to be very focused. We need to have a plan on with the direction we're going to go curriculum-wise. Because the most successful schools, they're going to collaborate. They're going to develop a common language for the things that go on their campus, a common language for their curriculum. They're going to look at data. They're going to become keenly aware of what their students' needs are, not just the big numbers like the AEIS data. That all the students were successful here, all the students failed here, whatever, but down to
when is the best time for professional development? I would have to say all the time. I think professional development is something that needs to be continual. Of course, the big bang at the beginning of the year, fresh, new beginning. This is a new ideas. This is what we need to start pushing towards, especially after having evaluated what worked, what didn't work, what all was good for the previous year. I think the beginning of the year is a good time for that big push of this is what we have to do different. This is what we need to do new. But I also think that it's something that needs to be continual, because if there's no accountability, if you're not checking back every once in a while to see how things are going or how the professional development is really developing you in your area, then how do you know whether or not the professional development was indeed effective? As far as our presenters go, Everman chooses to work with, doesn't have a choice, but we work with Region 11. And so Region 11 will usually have presenters in different areas. They'll give a list of different organizations or different people who are spearheading this particular thing, whatever it is we're working on. Say, for instance, if we have a reading initiative, then Region 11 will do the background. They'll check into the people who are innovative and doing the reading side of things. And then they'll give those lists of names to us, and then our administration will then pull those people over and say, okay, we're going to do a reading initiative with this group and this group and this group. And so I think that we kind of don't, as a school, get to pick who's going to be the administrators over professional development for our entire school. However, I believe that the continual professional development is something that the head principal can decide. So let's say we've gone through a huge grand initiative in August. At the end of September, the principal may say, okay, we're going to do a mini just kind of check to see what's going on, and we're going to pick some of the stronger or master teachers to do these particular brush-ups to see if we're doing what we said we were going to do. So I think that that is strictly a principal's decision. And her decision, in part, is based upon what we see, because we're all her evaluators. So there's no way for her to know what 135 teachers are doing. So she depends on us to say, oh, this one's really got it together. Oh, this one's doing a good job here. Or this one really has been pushing what we said in this classroom. So she takes feedback from us and then decides, okay, let's have a development, and let's see if these teachers want to be a participant in that type of a development. So I believe that's how the school level picks presenters. Professional development is always necessary for growth. I think it's necessary for growth in any organization, in a church organization, in your family. You always should be looking to find ways to get better. And if you get to a point where you don't want to figure out what to do to get better anymore, that means that you've chosen to be stagnant and stop growing. So I don't think that that's ever an effective thing, to stop growing. Professional growth and development is necessary in every facet of your life, no matter what profession you're in, no matter what religious sector you're in, you have to grow professionally.
One thing to an aspiring administrator, that is to find a culture, a school, that embellishes and embraces rather what you believe in about education. Find a culture that supports your way of thinking, because that's going to be very important, that you go to a job that you enjoy and you're willing to do. Even if they didn't pay you, you still want to be there. So I'm here at Everman High School now. 22 years at Everman High School, primary African American and Hispanic. Our kids are basically free lunch and reduced lunch kids, which provides an opportunity for us to see kids at the very basic level. We have very supportive parents, and we have outstanding teachers, and as an administrator, I get a chance to embrace a culture that I not only grew up with, but to make kids understand that the world is exactly what you make it. You have to find a great equalizer, and to me, if you can let a kid understand that that is education. For the poorest kid or the most affluent kid, if the playing field is ever going to be balanced and level, education will be the medium that's going to happen. So for the last 22 years, I have been trying my very best to provide opportunities through embracing families to encourage education and developing those type of morals and those type of standards that will allow them to exist in a middle class setting, to go out into a world that's oftentimes uncaring, and become a part and a productive citizen of society. It has been a wonderful journey, and with those who are aspiring to be assistant principals and principals, I would encourage you to do that if that's where your heart is. And remember, in life, in the education system, if you got to make a choice, if you got to decide, always make the kid the winner at the end of the day.
I've always been a leader who leads by example. I would never ask anybody to do anything that I did not do. I'm a very hard worker. I'm very dedicated to what I'm doing. I initially shared a vision, and one has always been at a high level to expect people to rise to the occasion. And I first started off with one of the things that I truly believe in is that all of our seniors could graduate. And I stated that my very first year as principal, growth, and of course the numbers decreased as far as the number of students who were dropping out and things of that nature. But I think it's just staying on track with what you state and what you believe, and getting people to rally behind and to really see that what we're doing, that it really, really works. One major important part or a person that is extremely intricate is the secretary. And that person definitely has to have your back and look out for you. I probably couldn't be who I am or do the things that I need to do without that particular person. And that person for me has always been somebody that I've cared about and cares about me. Of course, her name is Mrs. Robbie Thornton, and she tells me when I need to do things, and she keeps me on track, and she keeps me sane. And you need all of that when you're trying to make the right decisions, because you need to have clear thoughts at all times. You need to be able to make certain that what I'm saying or what I'm doing is a reflection, and that kids see me as a role model, as well as the staff, and that they're proud that I'm leading in that particular manner.